What is going on, guys? Chris here, and welcome back to another episode of CanChrisSolve. In today's video, we're going to be trying out this 4x4 shape mod. I'm not entirely sure what it's called, but it's on Magic Cube Mall, and it has some name like LanLan Rainbow 4x4 shape mod, colored 3x3 thing. I don't know. Whatever. I'm going to call it the LanLan Rainbow. Let's go with that. So from what I can tell, this is a truncated 4x4, and that means it's kind of been cut down on the edges and the corners so that they kind of have one color rather than two. And this should make it pretty simple, but I don't think it's going to be as easy as I'm letting on, because these kind of center pieces are all exactly the same color, so we don't have to worry about centers at all. So I'm thinking we're going to get some nasty parity here, because 4x4 already gets parity. And if we're not worrying about edge orientation or center orientation and permutation, it's gonna get a bit messy, I think. So, you know, let's just get down to solving this and see what we can do. Okay, so here is our puzzle, and as I said, all of our centers are exactly the same, so we don't need to worry about them. So the first thing we're gonna do is actually get straight on with edge pairing, I think. So this should be fairly straightforward. So as you can see, we have one edge paired, and we don't even have to worry about, you know, matching our centers back up, because again, they're all the same. So that's easy. So I've done my orange one here. I'm gonna move my black one over here. Just pop it up like this. There's no point wasting moves. So what's next? We might as well do this blue guy with this blue guy down here. There we go. Pop it up here, and then what's left? We can do our lilacs, nice and easy like this. Is that lilac? I don't know. Like that. Okay, so we've done our first 4 edges really quickly, actually, and we can continue to do that. It gets a little bit trickier now because we don't want to mess up what we've already made, so we kind of have to do restoration moves. But there's our first one. And we'll pop it into the top layer. We can do a nice R2 and match up this guy, and then we can pop it down here, like that. So we still have 4 here, and we now have 2 here. I'm going to do the 2 pinks because they're right here. Oh, this is a little bit difficult to turn because there's no edges to grab onto. So do you like that, match up our pinks and pop it up there. And then what now? We have these 2 blues, which look very similar to this blue, but this is a darker blue than this one. So we're just matching that up. And then what now? So this is when it's going to get a bit trickier. So I'm going to do an R2 here. I'm going to match up my grays. And then we need to make sure we're not messing anything up. So I'm going to match up my red, which is going to scramble the gray. But if I replace it with a broken edge and push it back, we're not messing anything up. Our gray is fine, and we just have these 2 left. Now I'm thinking we should just be able to do the regular 4x4 parity algorithm here, which is just the super flip with a slice. And when we move back, it should solve it, which it does. Well, that's awesome. Okay, so from what I can tell, all of our edges are done. I have no idea if there's any kind of parity going on here though, which is gonna add a little bit of difficulty, but hopefully not too much difficulty. So now I'm gonna move on to solving it as a 3x3. And this is a little bit more difficult than I first thought it would be, because you actually have to be mindful of where your pieces are going. The centers don't matter, but the corners have very unique colors. They don't repeat at all. So you want to make sure that you get them right. So as you can see, this corner matches up perfectly with these 2, with these 3 edges actually. So now you want to make sure you do the rest of it accordingly. So I need to find the next corner with a dark purple on it, and it's down here. So I'm going to bring it round like that, and that means we need an orange edge down here. So let's do that. So we need an orange corner here, like that. So we need this red to go next to this red here. So it's kind of just like a little game of getting it round in the right place. So we have red there, and then we need a red and a grey corner, and that's over here. So let's pop that in. Oh, I did that the wrong way, never mind. Just like that, and then we kept that blue here. We need this green to go in here. I didn't really want to do F2L because we need the corners to tell us where our pieces are going, so I just thought I'd bear that in mind. So we're just doing kind of the beginner's method, F2L here. So we're matching up with the corners, and the only way we can tell which piece goes where is, again, because of this little corner piece down here. So that's our F2L done, and that leaves our OLL and PLL, which I think is going to be weird, actually. Let's have a look at this. So we're going to be able to tell how our corners are oriented because of whether or not they match up here. So from the looks of things, none of them match up right now. So I'm going to do a soon algorithm. And again, with the edges, we can't really tell whether they're matched up or not. So we just have to kind of go with it. So we still have no corners matched up, which is weird. Okay, our first match, or is it? Is that our first match? I think so. So this blue works. So I'm going to keep that down there, and I'm going to do the soon, and hopefully that'll fix all of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's good. It works. These two are in the wrong place though, but they are oriented correctly because they match up like this, and then these two match up like this. So I'm going to do the beginner's method algorithm for our corners, and we're going to have to do it twice, unfortunately. But once we have headlights, we can kind of go with it. So we're going to use these two at the back, do beginner's method. Like that. And now we just have a U-perm, which is great. Hopefully this will solve it. And actually we had no parity at all. So maybe, there we go, we solved it. So maybe having no edge orientation is what made it so easy for us. It meant there was no parity, whereas I thought it would give us parity. But that doesn't seem to be the case. We managed to solve it without any problems. It was basically just a simplified 4x4, but it was kind of confusing because we didn't have centers. So we had to rely on these corners to tell us where our pieces went. So that was a really enjoyable solve, actually. I thought that was a lot of fun, and I'm glad I tried it out. I thought it would be quite easy, then I thought it would be hard. Turns out it was a bit of both. So there you go, we managed to solve the LanLan Rainbow 4x4 shape mod thing without any difficulty. I thought that was a lot of fun though, and I'm probably going to solve this quite a lot. It's a pretty interesting take on a 4x4. I really like how many colours it has, and it is still a little bit challenging, especially when you get to that 3x3 part at the end. So yeah, this was a lot of fun. I would recommend trying this out if you've had enough of 3x3 shape mods and want to try something else. It's definitely a fun solve, and it's not too hard. I'd recommend it for basically anyone. And you can buy it from Magic Cube Mall. I'll have a link in the description below from where I got it. And that's about it, guys. If you enjoyed this video, remember, give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you want to see on this channel next. And then, of course, subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Have an awesome day, guys.